Now on to our first story. The motorcade of dignitaries traveling from the Volta regional capital to Accra got involved in an accident late afternoon yesterday, injuring Russia's Chief Justice and Vyacheslav Lebedev. Chief Justice Lebedev was one of the guest speakers at the annual Ghana Bar Association conference held in Ho. Reports indicate the Ministry of Defense has airlifted the Chief Justice to the 37 military hospital for medical attention. Justice Lebedev is on a 4-day tour to Ghana as the head of a 4-member delegation. Other members of the delegation include Chief Justice of Moscow Regional Court and Chief Justice of the Saratov Regional Court. Meanwhile, the Greater Accra president of the Ghana Bar Association, Frank Davis, says the GBA is embarrassed by the near-fatal crash.
Russians tend to have a rather huge name sometimes.
I know, right?
Well, let's move on now to some other stories. The Attorney General has been instructed to sanction all persons indicted in the report on the malfeasance at the Ghana Youth Employment and Entrepreneurial Development Authority. Addressing anti-corruption agencies on the continent at the 2nd Africa Anti-Corruption Conference here in Accra, President Mahama said government is meanwhile taking appropriate actions to restructure JIDA.
The president's comments are the first such since the official JIDA report was made public. He added revelations from proceedings of the sole commission on judgment debts were equally troubling.
We have commenced the process of restructuring JIDA and have requested the Attorney General's office to sanction any persons identified to have been involved in wrongdoing in the JIDA affair. In the medium term, action is underway to put in place a better legislative, operational, and administrative framework for JIDA so that the public can have the best value for the money spent on this all-important national program.
He indicated legal frameworks such as the Witness Protection Bill being put together, as well as Public Officers Code of Conduct Bill, are all interventions to fight corruption, which, according to a World Bank report, cost Africa an estimated $150 billion annually. Other comprehensive bills in the works are geared towards regulating gifts received by public officials, strengthening the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, and also establishing a fund to finance activities of anti-corruption agencies in Ghana.
To launch a corruption investigation does cost a lot. We put large teams of people, it's not, the investigations are not conducted simply sitting in an office. They require field visits, so it's quite a costly endeavor. And therefore, specific funding for that would enable, I think, more extensive investigations. That is not to say that we ever limit the investigations. We go as far as we need to. We probably are not seeing as many prosecutions as the public would expect. I think that with patience and with time, we will see more prosecutions.
The African Association of Anti-Corruption Authorities, formed in 2011, is to foster cooperation among countries as well as review strategies being adopted to combat the issue. Members are expected to elect executives and also adopt a constitution at the conference.
Now, a good number of MPs are disgruntled over an apparent delay in the release of some statutory funds due them. The MPs say their entitlements, including the District Assembly's Common Fund and HIPIC funds, have been outstanding for more than 8 months now, a situation they say is causing disaffection for them amongst their constituencies. The Speaker, after a brief meeting with the leadership of the House, has however assured the MPs the matter will be addressed.
The MPs, before formal business began in the chamber, could be overheard discussing the delay in the release of the funds amongst themselves. The Health Fund and the GET Fund were also included in the list of outstanding entitlements. The Speaker, as a result, had to call a meeting with the leadership to discuss the matter. This, however, did not stop members from raising the matter on the floor.
The first thing I noticed is that Mr. Speaker, since you are in the chair, I may want to kindly request that we probably go into closed session to discuss some matters which, in my view, may have an impact on what we are going to do. And I didn't want to
The Speaker then intervened and assured members of the efforts by the leadership to get the matter resolved.
Have you spoken to your leaders? They've drawn my attention to certain issues in my lobby today, and a certain arrangement has been put in place. If you are not satisfied with that arrangement and you want it to take a different form, it's a different matter. That is why I was asking you, that is why, and the arrangement involves a meeting anyway. Are you listening? And that meeting must involve some other people. And those people must be invited, and ask that the clerk summon those people. And if you hold those meetings without those people, what are you going to achieve?
The House is expected to meet with stakeholders on Tuesday to resolve the matter.
Now, the NPP's running mate for the 2012 election, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, arrived Monday morning in the northern regional capital, Tamale, to kickstart a nationwide thank you tour. The 2012 running mate is accompanied by the national chairman of the party, Jacob Echebilamte, General Secretary Kujose Friye, and women's organizer, Otiko Afisa Jaba. Dr. Bawumia met with the NPP constituency and regional executives in a closed-door meeting in Tamale before heading to Bolgatanga in the Upper East region for a similar tour. Dr. Bawumia is said to have thanked the party executive on behalf of the 2012 flag bearer for the support shown them and the party throughout the election petition hearing.
Former Deputy Energy Minister Katie Hammond is to be summoned before the Judgment Debt Commission for giving conflicting accounts in various radio interviews on the sale of an oil shipping drill of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation. In 2001, the ship was sold for $24 million, but the whereabouts of $3.5 million taken from an account to be deposited in government coffers remains a mystery. The Commissioner, Justice Yao Ampao, on Monday noted that Katie Hammond's role in the sale of the oil shipping drill was confusing. Justice Ampao commented the former Deputy Minister said on radio that he was directed by President then Kufuor to sell the ship and defray the cost. In another vein, he said he was given the power of attorney to sell by GMPC. Lawyer for the commission, Dometi Sokwo, affirmed Katie Hammond would definitely come before them, although it is not clear when he would appear.
Well, we wait to see exactly when that will be. But effective Wednesday, September 18, butchers in the Upper West Regional Capital will be permitted to slaughter and move animals in and out of the Wa municipality. The decision to lift the ban was taken at a review meeting of the Wa Municipal Security Committee. The ban was imposed in the wake of an anthrax outbreak last month. Here's a report by Rafiq Salam.
The review meeting, which is the third since the outbreak of the disease in the Wa municipality, is to look at the progress that has been made by officials from the Regional Directorate of the Food and Agriculture, especially the Veterinary Service, in combating the disease. The Wa Municipal Director of the Veterinary Service, Dr. Paul Poku, stated they have vaccinated in the last 3 weeks a total of 30,798 animals, which included sheep, goats, cattle, and pigs. Based on the technical advice, the committee fixed Wednesday, September 18 for the lifting of the ban on the slaughter and movement of four-legged animals in and out of Wa municipality. He added that antemortem examination will now be carried out at the Wa slaughterhouse on all animals before they are slaughtered and sold to the public.
The consuming public are the ones who should be most discerning. What we are doing is in the interest of the consuming public. The butchers are only interested in business, but I'm sure they would not be able to be in business without their clients. It's the health of the clients that's important in this particular case. So we appeal to the consuming public to be mindful of what we are doing.
The decision to lift the ban from Wednesday did not go down well with the Wa Butchers Association led by Nuru Abu, but they seem happy now that there is end in sight for the ban to be lifted as they gathered outside the meeting hall. However, Their spokesperson, Anwar Abu Sunday, still has issues with the Office of the Municipal Officer of the Veterinary Service.
Wanted to punish us. So we are challenging the medical director to come out clear and show us when was the last time he saw this disease on a cow or any ruminant. Yeah. Because he cannot come and tell us that we are having this anthrax. When was the last time they detected this sickness in a cow? Yes. That means they are not doing their work since that long. Yeah. Because if they are doing their work, they would have detained one of the animals. That this animal is infected with anthrax.
Rafiq Salam's report from Wa.
Well, Butchers and Wa, very happy there. Now, Nigeria and some other countries will no longer be eligible to participate in the American Diversity Visa Lottery Program, according to the United States Department of State. That department said Nigeria was excluded since over 50,000 Nigerians had immigrated into the United States in the last 5 years. Other countries not eligible include the United Kingdom, except for Northern Ireland, Bangladesh, Brazil, Canada, China, mainland born, so that's mainland China, and Haiti. However, many African countries, including Ghana, would continue to enjoy the program. Applications for the 2015 US DV lottery is expected to take off from October 1, 2013. In 2012, over 14 million people were said to have qualified worldwide for the US lottery from the over 19 million who applied.
That's interesting. So Nigeria is actually not eligible anymore simply because probably they've exceeded their quota, because 50,000 within the past 5 years. That's quite a huge number. Wow. So hey, but the thing too is we are now using the ECOWAS passport.
Exactly.
So if they have the ECOWAS passport, how do you know if it's Nigerian or Ghanaian?
It would state it.
Okay, you state your citizenship.
It states your citizenship in there. So.
Well, so too bad for Nigeria, but good news at least for Ghanaians.
But what if they become Ghanaians and then
they decide, by the time you go through the citizenship to become a Ghanaian and apply, maybe Ghana would have exceeded their quota. You never know. So too bad, Nigeria. If you're watching us this morning, Nigeria, too bad, too bad. But maybe you can go to some other country apart from the United States, and maybe from there you can enter the United States, because maybe they may not be bad from participating in the lottery. You never know.
But even Canada has been bad.
Yeah.
The UK, the closest country. Yeah.
Too bad. Okay. Well, that's our bulletin. Let's recap our top stories. The Ghana Bar Association says the near-fatal accident the near-fatal crash of the Russian Chief Justice is a huge embarrassment.
K.T. Hammond is to appear before the Judgment Debt Commission to clear up confusion over his role in the sale of a GNPC oil drill ship in 2001.
And we've just been telling you about Nigeria and 18 other countries, including the UK, except for Ireland, of course, and Canada. They've all been barred from participating in the US visa lottery effective this year. Nigeria told them they've exceeded their quota. So too bad for them. But that's the news for now. We have sports coming up in a bit.
Baba.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We didn't see you yesterday.
Say again?
We didn't see you yesterday.
Oh, yes. Yesterday I had to attend to a few things over there on radio, so it was a bit difficult.
I thought you were in Egypt for a moment.
No. I mean, Ghana was well represented, so there wasn't any need for me going, yes. A lot of the GFA members are also serving on various boards in CAF, so you can imagine how many of them went. Almost the entire GFA backroom staff was there. And yesterday the draw was held. Actually, the reason for which there was this whole Egypt thing, the draw was held, and we were playing against Egypt. Yeah. And it's taking a different toll. I mean, everybody, a lot of football pundits are actually on the negative side. They think that Ghana cannot beat Egypt to qualify for next year's World Cup. And so it's going to be a bit difficult. But I just hope that everything turns out pretty well, because Coach Kwesi Appiah says that he's ready to play any team, because if you want to go to the World Cup, then you should be prepared to play against any team that is out there. So let's see how it goes against the Pharaohs.
And the size and the might.
Exactly.
So let's see how it goes against the Pharaohs of Egypt. Sports on AM Show is proudly sponsored by Tigo. Smile, you've got Tigo. So yesterday the lenses were in Cairo, that's the Egyptian capital, for the draw of the final qualifiers or the playoffs to the 2014 FIFA World Cup in the African zone. That was when Ghana was drawn against Egypt, and it happens that Ghana is going to play home first to the Pharaohs of Egypt. And then Nigeria, I think that they were the luckiest side on the day, because they drew Ethiopia, and so it means that they will go away to Addis Ababa first to play against Ethiopia. Now let's catch a summary of what really took place in Cairo. All right, let's come home now. And over the last few years, I mean, Ghanaian journalists, football pundits, members of the football fraternity, of course, have been on the Ghana Premier League, and then they have been chastising the various stakeholders for the fact that it is dwindling. Now, we have seen the Ghana Premier League take a nosedive in the last few years, and then it's very difficult finding out the reasons, and then it's also difficult for the Premier League organizers, that's the Premier League board, I don't know, to come up with measures to be able to improve on what we've seen in past seasons. But various chief executive officers have actually adopted new strategies to ensure that they market the league in their own small ways, beginning from their club. So on Saturday on Joy Sports Link, the new managing director of Accra Hearts of Oak, Neil Armstrong Motigbe, was one of the guests, and he told us he educated us on ways in which that the Ghana Premier League can be marketed and improved.
At yourself, if you are a small club like Wild Stars, and look at yourself, you just oppose your income and your stature against Hearts of Oak or Kotoko. You can see that they are big clubs by our standards. For a whole season, you play 30 matches, and you can count on the income from Hearts and Kotoko, your matches against Hearts and Kotoko, as the sum total of all the rest put together. When we play Hearts and Kotoko, the money that we get is like all the other 13 matches put together, or 26 matches put together. So you can see that they have the crowd, they have the character, they have the aptitude, to help you even to grow financially. So why should I be envious about this comment that Kotoko and Hearts are going to win the league? It's only that I'm not going to play subservience to them. I don't see myself as a subservient club or team to Hearts of Oak, because we are on the field of play. We are 11-11, and we have a referee in the center.
Right, that was All Stars Chief Executive Officer Odonya. Now let's go to the stables of Accra Hearts of Oak, where their manager or managing director Neil Armstrong Motigbe also outlines ways and measures which he thinks that the Ghana Premier League can be improved.
It becomes something that looks like it's symptomatic of your product. And you don't want that kind of situation with a brand like the Ghana Premier League. I think we play. I mean, people may talk about a lot of players leaving the country early, and therefore the argument has raged on and on and on about the quality of play. But look, there's still a lot of quality players in our Premier League. It's about how we package them, how we vaunt them. If you watch the way other countries promote their leagues, it's around certain central figures. And it's not only the players. There are colorful coaches, there are colorful management people. It's how we look at the product and pick the unique selling propositions within and vaunt them. But beyond that, as we do those things, the practices inherent in our league must tally with it. Otherwise, it's like you're trying to polish something that's not so clean. We are not perfect. But this once in a while you use shows that if it's a once in a while, I think it's once in a while. Football is a game of passion. It's a game of uncertainty. There's no exact scientific way of determining how a football game will go. So there will always be those variables that you can't control. But we need to look at what it is that we can control on a more regular basis and present present ourselves. You present yourself nice to corporate Ghana. Present yourself nice to Ghanaians. Ghanaians want an entertainment.
Let's travel once more to the foreign front where there's Champions League action tonight. Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, they're all in action tonight. Manchester United will host Leverkusen at the Old Trafford. And then at the Anoeta in Spain is Real Sociedad up against Shakhtar Donetsk. FC Copenhagen will host Juventus at the Parkin. Galatasaray are up against Real Madrid at the Turk Telecom Arena. Benfica will host Anderlecht in Estadio de Luz. We have Olympiacos up against Paris Saint-Germain at the Karaiskakis Stadium. And then we also have Bayern Munich up against CSKA Moscow at the Allianz Arena. And then at the Strankovic Sadi Stadium is Victoria Plzeň up against Manchester City. These matches are coming up later tonight, and so you should stay tuned to the sports segment on the AM show tomorrow, because we'll have all the highlights of the matches that will take place tonight. My name is Rashida Baba Kadiri. Sports on the AM show is proudly made possible by Tigo. Smile, you've got Tigo.